Hi, everyone. Now, most businesses at the moment are looking at how AI can add value to their organization or make their business more efficient or more productive. And I want to share a really important place to start, and that is that the leaders in the organization are leading by example, adopting AI tools to add value or make themselves more efficient in their day to day. If you're not entirely sure how this works in your own workflow, I just wanted to show you a few examples that are really straightforward to have a go at and might inspire you with the work that you do. So I would always start with a very clear goal. In any of the workshops that I run, I always say, write down a list of all of your tasks and all of those things that take too much time, because those are the things that we can look at to see where AI can help. In this example, the goal was to improve prioritization across the team, but this can also work individually as well, ensuring that I end each day clear on the progress that I've made and also the priorities for the next day. So, this is a very easy automation that at the end of each day, an automated prompt is sent to my inbox. And this isn't an integration, so it's just sent to the email address that my ChatGPT is registered to. And this prompt asks me what tasks I completed, what didn't get done, what was my biggest win, and what distracted you. Now, this forces me, but also if you were to set it up as a team, to actually reflect at the end of the day and be really clear on what didn't get done, what also should be celebrated, and what needs to get done tomorrow. So this works really well if you've started the week telling ChatGPT, ideally if you've got an enterprise account, so it's secure, always be careful how much you tell it, but what your big goals are for the week. And then ChatGPT can help coach you along, giving you a productivity score, giving you a key reflection. So you keep getting distracted on that, or this keeps taking too long, and suggesting what your next priorities would be. So all that you do is put a prompt in to say, I would like to end the day with a productivity reminder. Can you set up this prompt and link it to my email? And you can tell it the time of day that you want it to come as well. This could also be at the end of the week. You could also set this up at the beginning of each week. Now, one of the best use cases I find for any of these Gen AI tools is the ability to quickly get a sense of what's going on across the market, across the industry, and do a deep dive into research. Perplexity has long been my favorite tool for this. So if you haven't used this yet, Perplexity AI, you don't need a pro account to get started, but they do have a fantastic enterprise account. So again, starting with the goal. In this example, this is reflecting and thinking about how going into a monthly meeting, it would be great to understand the latest trends of the market that you are operating in, and then share this with the team. So share this for context and inspiration. So again, it's kind of a really good piece of work. It would add value, it would add more color to what was going on with your own performance or own NPD if you had an idea of everything that was going on in the rest of the market. So jumping on to Perplexity, I wrote this prompt, and it's a really good idea to ask an AI to perform a certain role. It immediately gets itself into character and does the best job as that role. So in this example, act as my commercial sales intelligence analysis. Now, this could be my research insights analyst or market insight analyst, whatever role that you're looking for. Summarize the latest past 90 days news and developments in the global beauty industry, focused on the following brands and these major retailers. Now, what I also added in there was the format that I wanted it in. So I wanted this to be in the format of a table, and suggested what columns would be in that table as well. So, for example, NPD, or what was happening with digital marketing campaigns. You can also add in there opportunities, threats, and recommendations. But my watch out for this is that you lose all of your knowledge and opinion. You almost get told it by an AI, and your knowledge is usually much better. So put that at the end of your process as opposed to at the beginning. As an example, this was the first thing that came out when I asked it for this following piece of research. So you can amend this and set it up as a regular prompt, or maybe put in a traffic light system as well if you want to see how your brand compares to other brands. But as an example, this is a great way that took absolute seconds to quickly get an idea of the kind of things that are going on in these big brands that you can then share with the wider team. So then the final example is decision making. Now, the goal here was well aware that we are going into a very heavy trading season. As we approach Christmas, the next few weeks and months, we all know, especially in retail and FMCG brands, that there are big decisions to be made. Often there's commercial opportunities that we need to decide on quite quickly, Black Friday, for example, and also how much budget we should put against certain opportunities. Maybe we need to defend ourselves versus a competitor pricing activity. So the goal here was actually, given that that's going to be a really stressful time, how can we create a process that structures rapid decision making? And how can AI help with frameworks and documentation to make this as accurate as possible? So again, I went on to Claude. Claude is one of my favorite, I don't know whether to say favorite or not, AI platforms. Everyone that uses Claude does say to me that they absolutely love it. So do give it a go if you haven't already. Now, I was having a bit of a back and forth with Claude at the time on thinking about how I could really improve a decision-making process. So here in this prompt, I've said there will be many fast decisions required over the next 3 to 4 months. I need to ensure that I make the right call and have the appropriate evidence. Can you create a system I pick up each time to walk through a decision and document it? Now, I have actually been through a few iterations of this, but this is an example to show you that uh, here we built a commercial, well, Claude built a commercial decision framework that can be used to, in moments of intense pressure, be a thinking framework to think, what is the decision? Who owns the decision? Is there anyone else that actually needs to approve it? And then look at things like what needs to be covered from a financial point of view, what's the strategic fit, and so on. So this could be something that you copy, put in a shared folder, and amongst all of your team who might be making similar decisions during this time period, and everyone can then follow the same process. And it's a great way to document decisions when everything is happening at a really incredible pace. So those were just 3 examples that I found to be really helpful with myself and also some teams that I've been working with recently. So I would just leave with a few top reminders. Have a clear goal and outcome before you start. A lot of the time, people say, and I hear the recipe example all of the time. I'm sorry, I'm really fed up of hearing about recipes. Sorry to anyone who actually really does get a lot of value from that. But if you actually think about what would add value to you through the week, then that's where actually the AI use case that you find will actually be impressive. It will actually be useful. There's lots of things that we can do just for fun and they're great to play around with, but it's the ones that will actually benefit our day to day or our work that will really count in this context. And experiment. Just because the first thing doesn't work, make sure that you, even if you are a leader with a lot of other pressures, it's imperative that you get as familiar with this experimentation as your teams. Practice with different prompts, practice with different tools, and hone it, iterate the processes that you built so that then you in turn can share that with the wider team. It's imperative that we don't get lazy. It's imperative that with each one of these tools and each one of these processes, we actually use it to amplify what we're already good at. So we don't want the AI to be making decisions for us. It hasn't got the wider context. It's also been trained to tell us we're always right, to just be a nice and enjoyable tool to use. So use it, in my mind, for the research, for the analysis, but use your own brain to make sure that you're problem solving, thinking about things and communicating things, especially across your team, to actually learn together and find the right things. AI hasn't got the context. It wouldn't approach things in the right way. And we don't want to get into that habit of using it. We're more likely to make mistakes if we rely on it too heavily. And measure success. How many hours have you saved? How much better is your decision making? Sometimes you can actually just see the teams and the individuals that are just getting things done, not just quicker, but usually in a much better, more optimal way, because they're freed up to do more other things and they're energized by the innovation that the AI tools have enabled them to do. Thank you for listening. I hope this has been helpful. I'm going to do a few of these examples so that we can carry on improving AI adoption and really seeing that value come through. AI transformation starts with you, so do lead with example. Thank you.